Hi everyone, we're back with a new video. This time we're talking about Mendix 8.12. I'm
Yep.
Paul Ketelaars.
En I'm Willem van Zandvoort.
Let's get started.
Let's do it. Okay, these releases just seem to keep coming every month.
Yeah, we were kind of behind, right, on
A
our
bit.
release video, so we had a couple of things to catch up on.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and
But
also holidays don't help with that.
true, neither does the heat.
True.
One thing that comes to mind is that there's no blog post for this
That's true.
release.
Yeah, we
I figure that it has to do with the holidays as well.
yeah, that and the fact that Mendix World is obviously next month.
Yeah.
And I know that all the product managers are also taking a well-deserved holiday right now, so they didn't have time to write a blog, which is okay. I mean, I always prefer the blog over the release notes.
Yeah, it's a bit more readable.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of just a list summing up all the changes and new features.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we do what we can.
Exactly. Having said that, let's take a look at the
Yes.
release notes.
Okay.
New features. I always like new features.
Yes.
What have we
And there
got?
are two.
Yep.
Well, there are kind of more, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is you can now use associations in nanoflow expressions.
Yep.
And this was already possible in microflow expressions from 8.7 onwards.
Mm-hmm.
And they took this over to the nanoflows, which is
Yep.
great.
Awesome.
So you don't have to retrieve your entire object to be able to check a certain attribute, for example.
Yep. I remember
Which is
this
great.
being one of the best new features in 8.7, if it was 8.7, but yeah, the fact that
8.10, I'm sorry.
8.10. Yep.
It says it
It
right
says
there.
no, it's wow, way to read.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anywho,
that's just so powerful.
yeah,
And
certainly is.
nanoflows were always a bit behind on functionality compared to microflows.
Yeah,
And
that's true. Yeah, I still think this is really fast that they implemented this in nanoflows as well.
mm-hmm,
So
absolutely.
this was a nice surprise.
Yep. Very good new feature.
Yeah.
And
So is the next one though.
the next one, retrieve attribute values from a data source for pluggable widgets.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Okay.
this is a bit more technical.
Mm-hmm.
And this was 8.7. That's why the confusion.
Yeah.
So in Mendix 8.7, Studio Pro 8.7, you were able to add a data source property to your pluggable widget,
Mm-hmm.
which allowed you to use the entity in your
Yeah, the
widget.
object. Yeah.
Yeah, the actual object, but not the attributes of that object.
I was wondering, before you would have to do something in your JavaScript or TypeScript or whatever you're writing your widget in. You would have to retrieve the object inside the widget and then search for the attribute, I suppose.
I guess
And
I'm not
now,
that JavaScript of widget, not
mm-hmm.
that into the widgets anymore. But I figured that's what needed to be done. Yeah, and now you can actually select the attribute that has to be used, so it's more dynamic.
Yeah, kind of like how widgets used to work before.
Yeah,
I remember that being possible now also for pluggable widgets that's
yeah,
supported.
I figure as much.
Yeah,
So this is great for the widget builders.
absolutely. Seeing as there
Which
are many widgets being developed and more keep
yeah,
coming, so
yeah, for sure.
it's a good addition. Already excited.
Yeah, on to the improvements,
Yes.
which is this is a pretty big one for me. It's a small improvement, but it has a big effect, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first improvement is you can now use variables in your page title.
Yep.
So you can, if you have a show page activity in your microflow, you can overwrite the page title that is defined on the page itself.
Mm-hmm.
And before you could only use static text.
Yeah.
And now you can use the variables which are available in your microflow in that page title as well, which is
Now
great.
let's have a look at this. So
Yeah,
if this is our AMOLED visor, which we will be continuing to expand on in the near future when
in
it's
the near
less
future.
less
Yeah,
hot and
yeah,
it's more fun to sit upstairs. um, so for example, we have a new edit page, and uh, we have the page title. We can now edit this. So for example, I suppose just like well, obviously this isn't filled in this example, but still,
yeah,
we could do something like this: new restaurant, and if the name would be would have some value, then if we put in here
yeah. So in this case, you could make a microflow for the
the,
edit
the
button,
edit
for
bit.
example,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could change the title to edit restaurant and then the name of the restaurant.
Yep. Just a quick idea. If we have the overview and we do the new, and you would well edit, you would have the page, but it's not possible in here, is it?
No, it's because you don't have any variables in here.
Exactly. Yeah. That would be a pretty cool extra addition because now.
It would be cool if you could use the variables of the object you're going to edit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In your microflow, you're obviously much more in control of what variables you can have
Yeah.
because you could retrieve everything you have.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be a nice addition to be able to use the variables of the object you're going to edit from the properties pane
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So
or
basically, like
on the
like
page
page.
on the page itself
Yeah, like page
on the edit
variables.
page.
That
Yeah,
that in itself would be a amazing addition.
yeah,
And then I suppose something like this would also be very easily done.
yeah. So if you go to the yeah, exactly. I think we're on the same page. We're on restaurant overview.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Okay.
We can now set an icon for your application in the responsive navigation profile.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So like the little Mendix icon you see up top here, you can now add the same kind of icon to your Mendix app.
Yeah. And that makes it no longer needed to add the icon to your theme folder and
Mm-hmm.
referencing it from your HTML pages.
Yeah,
So that's great. More in Studio Pro.
yeah, less technical.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
Oh, what else? What stands out?
I thought this one was it never clicked with me. Well, it clicked with me, but I never had the idea that I needed this. And that is in Studio Pro, it is now possible to configure disable during action for many microflow and nanoflow actions that are not on buttons.
Mm-hmm.
This includes, and this example is why it clicked. This includes the on-click
Yeah,
events of list views and containers.
exactly.
I keep throwing the puns out there.
Yeah, you're on a roll. It's
yeah.
noticeable that you had a holiday.
Yeah,
But
but that's actually a great improvement
it is.
because you could always say disable during action on a button,
Mm-hmm.
but I was never aware that they could still click on list view items, for example.
Yeah, containers as well.
Yeah,
And we all
so
know our
that's
end users. And if something isn't fast enough, they just keep clicking.
keep on clicking.
Yep. What that might do is some unpredictable behavior with multiple running microflows.
Yeah, we still have to educate our end users, obviously, but it's a nice new improvement in our toolkit.
Yes. Yeah, this one is also
Yeah,
pretty
that's one
nice.
I ran into. So the ticket is actually of a colleague of ours. We had a lot of OData feeds in this application, published OData,
Mm-hmm.
and what was published was text fields that could be entered by the user,
Yeah.
which were pretty big text fields. So the users would normally create a report in, for example, Word, and then copy snippets from that text and paste it in the Mendix app.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, knowing users, they somehow always break stuff. So we ran into stuff. like emojis or list items like a bullet list being pasted in the text box,
Mm-hmm.
and not every character was escaped.
Escaped. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure if
I
it's escape. It was an invalid character, and
yeah.
the system that was importing the OData actually crashed on that feed. So we kept on getting tickets. We had to fix the record manually,
Mm-hmm.
so they could well continue their run, and the system could boot up back again and read all the data. So
Yep.
this is a big change. The only downside is it's in 8.12 and our app is in like 7.23 or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
It takes some
we
upgrading.
yeah we have no intention of upgrading for now. So too bad, but great fix nonetheless.
It definitely is. Yep.
So any notable fixes?
This is image uploader now allows SVGs as well.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Seems like more like an improvement than a fix, but
It depends on the way you look at it, I
yeah.
suppose.
um, not sure if there's anything.
No.
Obviously, all fixes are good, but they're not really that notable, I'd say.
No, I agree.
Okay.
No. And now we have a known issue, which
Yeah.
is a misleading warning, but that's okay, I suppose.
Yeah. It's
It's good to know.
it's we've had worse known issues. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
so
All in
so
all, what do you think?
yeah. Even though everyone is on a holiday break, it's still a good release.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's some great new features, some great improvements, obviously a lot of fixes, and yeah, I think it's great. I think this release is much bigger than 8.11.
Oh, it definitely is. It's more than one improvement or new
Yeah.
feature. I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering when the next stable release will come. I've seen a lot of questions about that. I think 8.6 is still the
Shouldn't every release be a stable release?
yeah, that's true. But I keep hearing a lot of questions. Is it okay to use these versions already? And
uh, to be honest, there have been some stability issues previously, and Mendix um, called out, well, named 8.6 as their long-term support
mm-hmm.
release. But I think a lot of people are misreading that. That doesn't mean that newer versions won't be stable, but
Yeah, yep.
it only means that bugs will be fixed in that release,
Mm-hmm.
which is great, of course. Um, but that doesn't mean that 8.12 won't be a good release to upgrade to.
You have a point.
Still remains to be seen, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
and you should always test your upgrades beforehand. But yeah, I'd say if you have any need for the features in a new release in 8.6, then by all means.
By all means, go for it.
If no one upgrades, we'll never know if it's a stable release.
That is also true, and I hope there are still a lot of people out there who do use these new versions.
Yeah, of course they do. Well,
Yeah.
we just upgraded our project, so we're one of them.
Yep, that's true. Yeah. Having said that, I think 8.12 is once again a good release. I'm happy that there still are new releases even in these
Yeah,
times, and
yeah,
well, obviously we're all looking forward to Mendix World a lot
for sure.
and everything that will be announced there. And yeah,
One more
can't wait.
month.
One more
Yeah,
month, exactly.
I'm done.
Me too. I'd say
Great.
that's a wrap.
That's a wrap for
Uh,
8.12.
8.12. So thank you all for watching. If you like
Yeah.
these videos, like and subscribe, and we'll hope to
If you have
see you
any
next month.
comments, yeah. If you have any comments, please let us know.
Yes,
Good, bad. We're we can
open to
handle the
suggestions.
criticism. Yeah, we're open to
Sure.
suggestions.
Yep.
And see you at the next release or at Mendix World virtually.
Virtually, we'll be there.
We'll be giving out virtual high fives if you want them. So Catch you September 1st.
All right.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.